Here's a good today. It's Funky and I'm here with TV show Thursdays, and this show is called Death Inc. Well, shortened for Death Incorporated, but that's what the title is on Netflix, Death Inc. And it's a sitcom basically about people that work in a funeral home. I think this is the first comedy I've seen where it's set in a funeral home, if I'm not mistaken. Probably there has been a comedy like this where it's set in a similar establishment. I'm not sure. And watching it, I thought it was going to be a decent kind of show. It was actually okay. I'm not really going to hate on it. The acting was good for this type of show. The dialogue was actually not bad. The storyline is just practically usual for these type of sitcoms. Bit of good funny moments. I've only watched 3 episodes of it. I do hope it gets better, because I actually like it, to be honest. It is an average show. I think this is the first, well, this is a rarity for me, where I actually like a show that's average. I'm going to explain to you why soon. I'm going to break it down. There's some good moments in this show, right? There's this guy called Danamos or something like that. Dama something. Damosis. I have no idea what that name is. I can't. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name properly. Damanos Carrera or something. You know what? I'm just going to. And he's like the boss, I think. Not necessarily the owner. The owner is someone called Gonzalo Terraguaros. Why am I not pronouncing his name? Terraguaros? I don't even know. You'll know when you watch it. And the owner sort of like passed away there when Damanos sees him like passed out on like the table. And yeah, so it's basically a bit of haywire with how it is in that establishment, and you know, it gets a bit messy, especially how they're trying to sort things out with dead bodies. And then there's like a scene where someone called Manuela, who's she's kind of like, she comes across a no and stuck up, even though she isn't trying to be like that. She tries to explain stuff, and she tells, who is it, Olivia or the other person? It's one of those two. And she sort of says how he's like, everyone says he's a good man, but then she says this person, oh, you know, he's a predator, he tried to grab my ass. And yeah, and then the woman replies back with, maybe he's trying to grab onto something when he was falling with her. And Amanda goes, well, if that was the case, then you would have, you know, tried to hold somebody's arm, or, you know, hold on to something. And that's when it goes, well, she said something about tripping on something, the handbag saved her, wherever it was. Another scene where Damanos meets up with someone called Nino. I think he's one of the workers. I'm not exactly sure of his role, but then he was just saying that, oh, I parked a disabled spot, and Damanos goes, we have a dead body there, but what's wrong with you? And he was like, well, it's perfect for disabled parking, right? You know, that is a good line. That is actually a good line. I can't line that one, especially in the scene where they're trying to do like the speech at like Gonzalo's funeral, and then, you know, they start saying stuff, and this Manuela goes to this, you know, this guy, because, you know, this guy says, what did he do to you? And she was like, oh, he grabbed my ass. And he was like, that's it? What? And it could have never said, I think it was in the start of the 2nd episode, where one dude goes, you know, I take the microwave, you take the fridge. Well, I don't know what they were talking about, but that actually made me laugh. Or like a scene where they're trying to, like, where Damanos and Nino and this and Morales. I think Morales is like his assistant, because Morales follows, you know, Damanos wherever he goes. And they come across this, like, this body in like the bedroom. They had to put like a stretcher, and it's like this big giant dude. I'm not gonna say much about it. I'm not gonna say anything bad. And then there was like, oh, I don't know how we're gonna like lift him up. He's too big. And then they had to push him, and they had to put him in like a coffin. We don't actually see how he gets put in there. They just had to remove some of the bits, I would assume, to make him actually fit in, and have to close the door. He's over there, and then you know, Nino goes to this. I think this guy's like in charge of cleaning up the body and washing it and whatever it is, like they have to do. And this guy says, "Oh, this is just maybe £1, right?" Or whatever he said. And he's, you know, this comedy, man. He also have like the new, like, I think owner / director called is it? Oh my god, the name is there in my head. How am I forgetting this? I've got such a good memory. I remember the scenes as I could. Oh. And yeah, she's sort of like the one that just can't handle it, I guess, and she doesn't have a clue on things and she needs help and assistance. You got Olivia, who's kind of like a bit nervous and a bit awkward. I think Manuela is her main friend, because she kind of looks up to her and kind of talks and it kind of feels that way to me. That's my opinion on it. And yeah, and Manuela is so obsessed with like hating on men. She's just too hell bent on it, and she's stuck up. But I do think she means well and stuff. But I think she's over the top with it. Well, that's what sitcoms are. Everyone's over the top with everything. But yeah, and what about another called Leia? I don't know which one she is. And another person where Daminos calls her up talking about, pretending to be someone from her son's school. And he goes in because he only did that because I think his son works at another funeral place. It's like their rivals are competing, and this guy talks as like this person. I think the daughter of the daughter whose mom is deceased, and you think they're talking in the waiting room, but then the woman comes back, and I've forgotten her name now. And her and Domino start arguing. And then the woman says, "Please, not in front of my mom." And it just shows the person laying at their deathbed. I like this. I like stuff like this. I like there's a little bit of a punchline like that, so we don't expect. I just saw that coming. I thought they were in the waiting room. I was wondering why there was a bit of space in between like those two arguing. Domino's also gets punched at the start of episode 1, by the way. And yeah, I really like it. To be fair, I like it. It's a shame there's not more humour in these scenes, in these episodes, because I'm sure it gets better. I hope it does, because I really like the concept of this. I'm not being funny. I'm surprised they allowed a comedy like this, because it involves like death and people grieving. I'm really surprised why they allowed it. Right, especially with jokes like, especially one of the jokes. I think there's other jokes I mentioned earlier that we didn't get away with in this comedy. But another joke where the guy says, "Oh, the bereaved is coming," he means dead body. But Morales goes, "Oh, when are they coming?" And I think he thought they were a band or like the family members, but it's actually the person that's deceased. And yeah, I think somebody called it corpse, and the guy says it's deceased is a proper way to say it. The characters are perfect, don't get me wrong. They may be a bit awkward. You gotta have that in comedy, and in every sitcom is awkwardness because it's perfect for something like this. But they acted awkward in like a good way for this type of show. I wouldn't say it's good, but I do think there's something to it, and it's a shame that it comes across as average when I was watching it, because I was like, this could be decent. But again, if they added more humour, it would be so much more better, because that's all they were missing. Overall, this is a good concept for a show, and I like it. First time, I think, I know I've said I gave shows like an average rating before, and I said it could have been better, and I want to like it. This is a rarity where I like the show and it's average, but that's because they should have added more in. The producers and writers are messed up on this one, man, by not putting that more in. But then again, people probably laugh at scenes that's not supposed to be funny, but they laugh at anyway. That's what comedy does. It makes you just laugh at anything. So yeah, rating for this, between a 5 and a 7. This is better than Alpha Males. And the reason why I'm comparing it to Alpha Males is because this is also like a Spanish comedy. Which I didn't know. I didn't think this was a Spanish comedy at all until I saw like, a word called municipal or something like that. I think it means like some sort of building or whatever it is. The names of the characters and the actual character, the actual people that play them, the actual names in real life. So yeah, and this in English, obviously. So, well, obviously none of you knew that. I should have said that from the start, actually. But it is in English, so don't worry. But the acting's better. Alpha Males just looks like they're just there, just talking normally, and not having anything funny to go with it. This one here, these are acting better and they have humour. And I think I rated Alpha Males a 3. But I'm rating this slightly higher because this is better. Despite there being less seasons and less episodes in the seasons, I think this is because it's more new and more recent than Alpha Males. I think Alpha Males, I think it's recent, but it came out slightly earlier than this comedy is. So I didn't know what else to think, but I did it because it sounds funny. It's my type of comedy. I just was expecting more because it is a good comedy. Yeah, sorry, I just got started there. Mum knocked on the door telling me something. But yeah, doesn't matter. That gave me a fight. When people knock on the door that loudly, bloody hell. that kind of scared me there. But anyways, doesn't matter. Don't worry, didn't get hurt or anything. I'm good. No threats. It was just actually knocked the door quite loudly. So yeah, they kind of distract me. But yeah, rating to give this now. I know I should be watching this the whole way through, just like I did King of Queens. So that's why I thought I did a review on King of Queens, but I didn't. But I might remember as much as I can. But I just thought I probably would forget some of this type of comedy, some episodes, some scenes. That's why I do a rough estimation. Right, for me, the rating for this would have to be a 5. I know I should give it a 7, and I want to. I just don't think it's quite there to be decent. I could give it a 6. I think 5 is enough. I think that's virtually enough. But yeah, improvements. Could have had more funny scenes in each episode. Like, you're always going to get that one of those with sitcoms. You're always going to get that episode where it's least funny than the other ones. That happens, right? Because maybe the writers have run out of jokes in that episode, maybe. But if it's a funny show in general where there's good concepts to it, there's no, you're going to come with, ideas that are just as good as the other episodes anyway that you made for it. So yeah, I do like the show. I like the concept of it. Would I recommend it? I'm not sure. Even though I like it personally, I'm not sure people like a show like this because they might find it a bit boring. Which I understand. Not every show that I like is everyone's cup of tea. That's understandable. But I do think there's more to this show, and I'm going to watch more of it anyway, so it's fine. Anyways, so yeah, that's it with this video. 5 out of 10 is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below. I'll see you in the next video.